Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm so excited because finally I've got Sarah from Texas here. You all probably know her by now because she has this amazing fan account called Jeff Lewis Obsessed. A lot of people in the beginning thought you were running the pages for Jeff Lewis. But no, it's Sarah. And Sarah is now becoming a part of the inner circle of the chumps. You're definitely officially a chump, I think, right?
I mean, a chump at maybe a little bitty chump.
A chump. Well, to me, you're a chump now. So
Thank you.
you do Lord. That's what I was telling Sarah backstage. She's doing Lord's work for Jeff Lewis fans, especially international Jeff Lewis fans who don't have access to Sirius or access to certain like Hollywood. Well, flipping out actually. Flipping out is such an issue to get from season 6 to season 11 because you have to pay for it, even with a VPN. It's hard because you need an American credit card. It's a whole thing. I've tried all the so everyone's got Sarah to keep us up to date regarding Jeff. Hello, Sarah, and welcome to the channel.
Shout out from Texas, Natalie. I adore you. I am new to the tarot card reading, so I am so excited to chat with you. So excited. I can't wait to hear what you say is in the cards.
We will look into that as well. I'll tell everyone what this show is all about. Just want to give a quick shout out to Storm, which we both adore.
I love you,
Hi,
Storm.
Storm. Michelle is in the house. Hello, hello. Denise. Hi, everyone.
I
You
love
guys.
live comments. That's why I love going live. So I was so excited when you asked me to go live. I love the interaction with fans because there really are people, right? Like we get so excited to chat with others that love the same things that we do.
I agree. I love going live too. I normally just go live now. I don't do pre-recorded videos. And also because I don't have time to edit. That's the other thing. But also because I like the connection with people, with the community, and people can ask whatever they want. And just so you know, Sarah, my community is very kind. It's very, very wholesome. All right. We don't have haters here. We don't have trolls. We don't have once in a while, someone might slip through the cracks, but it's okay because we've got moderators here. But I know that everyone's embracing you with big arms and a big heart.
Thank you, Natalie. And I think you have a great community because you're a great person. You emit that personality and you emit that positivity.
Thank you. Yeah, not always. I mean, when you are on YouTube or on social media, or generally when you are, let's say in quotes, a public figure, you'll always get someone who doesn't agree with you, doesn't like your opinion, doesn't like your hair, doesn't like your makeup, something, and they'll comment on it, whatever. But before we start, I want to tell everyone what we're going to be talking about. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about Jeff Lewis. Sarah and I have questions regarding Jeff, which we're going to ask the cards and spirit and any one of you who's watching this video and is a big fan, you probably have the same questions as us. So hopefully we will answer those today. Then I want to talk a little bit about the evolution of Jeff Lewis, right? Jeff Lewis, flipping out days to Jeff Lewis today. There has been an evolution of Jeff, especially since he had his little girl, Monroe. So I would love to analyze that because I do find him an intriguing personality. He's charming, regardless how he is. He's charming. You met him in person. Is he charming? Is he the same way?
I can't even tell you. So I've met him, I don't even know now, probably 8 to 10 times over the last, year and a half. The last time I met him, well, one of the last times was a 3.5-hour dinner. So it was only 5 of us sitting at dinner. When I tell you that's the longest, obviously, I'd ever had a conversation with him, he is so charismatic. He is so interested in people's stories. He really is. But he also just makes you feel like you're the only one in the room. He's not checking his phone. He's not looking over your shoulder to see who's something better to talk to. He's really interested in the people that he talks to. And so I think that comes across on the radio.
Yeah.
But it also, I experience that myself when I do talk to him.
Yeah, he's engaging. He's engaging, and I really feel that he's someone, yeah, sometimes he has no filter. You can be rude, he can be very hurtful and whatnot. He's an Aries. We'll look at his chart and your chart, because what we're going to do before we go towards the end, we're going to do a mini reading for Sarah. I mean, you've had a coffee reading, a coffee bean reading from Paul, right?
Yes.
Once.
And
Was
that
it?
all came true.
I think he's good. I feel that he's psychic. I really do feel he is psychic.
It all came true. It's all happening. Everything he said. So he did my reading live in his hotel room during BravoCon. And the first thing he said was, "Where are you traveling? You're traveling soon." I said, No, Paul. This is my last trip of the year. This is early November. We're leading into the holidays. My kids will be coming home from college. He said, "I'm telling you, you're traveling." A week later, Shane Douglas DM'd me, who is Jeff Lewis's personal assistant, his everything man. He DM'd me for my email address. I didn't know what it was for. It was for my personal invitation to the season 2 Hollywood Housewives premiere party in LA. So of course I booked that trip and said yes. Then the next thing I was invited to, or not invited, but Jeff announced his next Jeff Lewis Live show in LA. He had not mentioned anything about that. So of course I bought my VVIP ticket, got some friends together and flew to LA for that. Then a friend, now a friend, invited me to be a guest at this $10,000 New York City dinner. So then I booked my trip to that. So all of a sudden I was flying 3 different trips in December that was never on my agenda until Paul said it.
And there's more. There's more. That's what I'm picking up with you. There's more. Okay. More, some of which you're aware of, but there's also more. But we'll get to that when I read you. So This is fascinating. So you know what I realized while you were talking, because I was just about to pull Jeff's chart before we start. And I just realized 2 of his main, I'm not going to say chumps now, but 2 of his main solid people are Capricorns, Shane and Doug. They're both Capricorns.
Yeah.
So I know you don't know much about astrology, but this is interesting. Jeff and you share the same birthday, right? Which is the 24th of March.
Yes.
So you're both Aries. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac cycle. So Aries, very impulsive, no filter, fiery, Yeah. You and Jeff. You and Jeff. All right.
Brutally honest.
Brutally honest, no filter, can be hurtful. I mean, generally speaking, can be hurtful sometimes, but you forget about it. Like, that's the thing about Aries. You don't keep things, you don't hold a grudge. I mean, Jeff does, but Aries normally don't. But we look at each other, we know Jeff definitely holds a grudge. But what I was saying about the Capricorns, so Shane and Doug, for instance, they're Capricorn, so they are earth signs. They ground him. It's no coincidence that Shane and Doug are that close to Jeff, because he needs the earth energy around him. People who ground him, Doug definitely grounds him.
Yeah.
Definitely. And sometimes Jeff goes crazy. He's like, stop talking. Okay. Like, enough already. But it's interesting. And then I think we've got Megan, who is Leo. I know Megan is Leo. Joey, I had him on our podcast. I have a podcast with Giorgio, by the way, which is called
Creating. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, we interview content creators, and we're basically exploring like their journey, their content creation journey. And we have Joey. Joey is, I think he's an Aries too. Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Joey's an Aries too, or a Taurus. But it's interesting if you look at the chumps, how he doesn't have anyone with a water element. Water is Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I don't think he's close with anyone who's water, which is interesting because he can't take emotional people. Water signs are emotional. They're sensitive. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's not him. I don't think they'd be able to handle Jeff. But let's look at his chart really quickly. So I'm bringing it up. So Jeff I found his chart online. Okay. So his sun is Aries, his moon is Libra, which explains his love life. We'll get to that in a minute. We don't have his ascendant here, but I'm looking at his seventh. His seventh house is Capricorn. Seventh house is relationship and marriages. And then I want to look at his Mars in Taurus, which is why he holds a grudge. All right. So he has a moon in Libra. I had to bring it up because I don't remember. So his love life is messed up. We know that. We've seen it. Okay. It's messed up. He's always trying to find this ideal type of relationship or partner. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you managing and having a Jeff Lewis fan account, you know a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
About him. So, and the thing is that Libra, that's why with Stu, he was always they had these pauses, like back and forth, back and forth. That's a Libra. Libra have a hard time letting go. Moon, that's his emotions. So why Jeff is the way he is without Moon and Libra, reading his chart, looking at his chart, I would say is because emotionally inside of him, I don't feel he knows or received love from his family or his parents the way that other people have. Maybe in the family, they're not as affectionate, all right? Or they're not as lovey-dovey. And I feel Jeff has a hard time struggling. He struggles sort of to show love or appreciation to people. And his love language is basically tantrums and eruptions and whatnot. That's him. I feel this is the way he expresses his emotions, what he's going through with that Libra. It's always like ups and downs, which is interesting. Mars in Taurus. So he gives chances. So Mars is a planet of fire. It's all about action, how we act. And in Taurus, it means that he is someone, we've seen it as well, that he will give people chances, whether they're assistants, whether they're partners, right? Whether they're friends. He'll give chances up to a point, but when it's done forever. So he never goes back to, rekindling. Like, look at Jenny Poulos. I know he wants to, or he's tried to reach out to her, but that's done. Okay. It would never be
done.
I think so too.
I finally have come to the conclusion that he and Gage are done. But don't forget, just a year ago, last December, Jeff was toying and flirting with the idea of Gage, and while he was with Chef Stu. But I think that was Jeff's disappointment that their family circle got broken up. And I think for Monroe, he wants so desperately to have both daddies together. So I think that's what that was about. But I think the Gage ship has finally sailed.
Oh yeah, that one's definitely sailed now. And I want to say really quickly, his seventh house is in Capricorn, Venus. Let me quote Aries. So it's a struggle for him because he does want a life partner. This is his quest. Jeff Lewis's quest in this lifetime is not to make money. He's got that. He is talented. His quest is to find a solid partner. Now, I want us to ask the cards now. Let's ask the cards because we've got questions, Sarah, right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
If you want to ask me anything, ask me anything. If you don't understand anything or you want clarification, anything, just ask me. It's all good. As you can see, the chat they're all, oh, thank you, you guys. Created. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Danielle, you're always giving us a shout out. You're always promoting our podcast. I love you so much.
Oh, that's the best. That's awesome. That's awesome, Danielle.
Right. Shall we start with his love life, Sarah?
Yes. So just the other day, so on the SiriusXM app, there are videos. And so those show a pre-show where they're talking for a few minutes. They show the commercial breaks. They show the after show. So the other day, the $1 Million Listing LA chump, Tracy Tudor, was on, and I love her. So at the end, they're talking about her hooking up or hooking Jeff up with somebody, or maybe even going out and her being like a wing woman for him. And he very clearly said, I am looking for a relationship. I'm looking for someone monogamous. I'm not looking to play around. So I love that he wanted to make that clear to her, that he's really looking for a serious thing. He seems to be playing around a lot right now and dating someone in New York. He's dating someone in Chicago. He's dating a few people in LA. And I think he's been very open with that because clearly he's talking about the details on the radio. So, those guys are hearing it or being told about it. Hey, you're not the only guy in Jeff's life right now. I think he's just kind of taking it slow, trying to see. But I do want to know, do the cards say that he'll be in a relationship by our birthday, March 24th, which is just barely 2 months away?
True. Wow. And before I pull the card, there's another thing that I want to say just by reading Jeff the way I haven't read him in person, or I haven't read him, but I can read his energy. The reason I know that I've read some comments here and there over the years. Why does Jeff pick these types of men, especially with Stu, his relationship with Stu? Because he did kind of like come out and say things about Stu that were a bit, I don't know. I find them a bit offensive regarding his hygiene, regarding Stu's hygiene and
Sure.
things that you should keep off air, let's just say.
Yeah.
But
between them,
yeah, and then exactly. And then he had and then he was with Cage for 10 years. I think Scott was the only one who was sort of like on his level when it comes to financial status, etc. Right? But that didn't work out. I mean, that was short-lived. I think Jeff needs to feel like he is the breadwinner, the important one, the protector, the provider in the family or in a relationship.
Sure.
That's very important to him, because I feel that his dad, Tom, was exactly the same. And
absolutely.
right? And I know
he doesn't. Tom, he gives off the same masculine, very charismatic energy, but he definitely controls the room. And I feel like that's Jeff also. He wants to be the person to pay the bill. My dad was very much the same way. And I also think maybe it's kind of that generation. I mean, Jeff may look 35, but he is 53. So he is part of that generation. He's very into manners. He's very into being respectful of women. Some might argue that with me, and I'll argue with you all day long. He is not anti-women. He's anti-liars. He's anti-disloyal people. It's not a male-female thing with him. So I don't agree with that. But I think Jeff is always going to be the one to want to pay the bill at a restaurant. He feels it's his duty.
I agree with you. I don't agree with what people are saying that he hates women. First of all, if he hated women, he wouldn't be surrounded by women and he wouldn't have these women around him, A. And B, I actually think that he likes being around women because even though Jeff is gay, he has a very masculine, very strong energy about him, right?
Yes.
You could easily think that he's straight if you didn't know anything about Jeff, right? But here's the thing. I feel that he admires, and there's qualities about women that he really, really appreciates and likes. And people just because he had a spat or falling out with a couple of friends or female friends in his life doesn't make him a woman hater. Just putting it out there. I'm not Jeff Lewis. I'm not in his head, but just go back and look and flipping out and look at his history and look at all the other women. So what? He fell out with Jenny. Okay, but he fell out with Tyler and he fell out with so many other men too.
Andrew Coleman,
Andrew Coleman. I mean, there's so many, there's a list. So let's not just hone in or focus on one thing. Just let's look at the bigger picture. So let's look at his love life, because I know we want him to find love.
I'm sure some of the men he's dating want to know the answer to this also.
Red Bull and vodka, or is it Red Bull and tequila?
Oh, very much Red Bull and tequila. That's the issue. Apparently it's tequila. Gray sweatpants, chiropractor in Chicago, the African-American guy in New York City, the chef Harrison. That's just the ones we know of.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He needs to go out and date. He just needs to have some fun and loosen up. He's been under so much pressure and stress with Cage and the litigation and the courts and everything and Sirius and everything that's going on in his life. It's a lot. So have fun.
Well, and even though he doesn't talk about it too much, I mean, let's not forget his ex of 10 years is now dating his ex of 2.5 years, Scott. That's a huge life change, because when they've got Monroe involved, clearly she goes to Daddy Gage's house and now Scott is there, who she knew as Daddy's boyfriend, who lived with them practically during COVID. So it's a lot going on. His emotions, I'm sure he feels like they're kind of teamed up against him, and now he's single without a partner. I think all of those things affect Jeff's stress level, even if he doesn't tell us about it on the radio.
Most importantly, the fact that his daughter, Monroe, who's 7, is in the middle of all this. It's stressful. It's stressful. He can't even take a trip without Gage approving, right? He can't even take an extension to extend a day. So that's stressful. You and I are both parents. I mean, neither of us are divorced, so we're not in this situation where you have to share custody, but I can only imagine. I can only imagine how stressful it is. Now, back to Jeff and his love life. Okay,
Yes.
Are you ready, Sarah?
I'm so ready.
So you just mentioned he's been seeing and dating quite a few men, right? So I asked.
The wiener is busy, I think. The wiener is busy. He makes no bones about sex is a very important part of his life.
It's definitely a hot dog right now. All right. So what I'm saying is I don't see him committing to someone until March. It's right around the corner. So I asked the cards for the next 3 months what they can share with me about Jeff's love life. Knight of Swords. Now, Jeff is really enjoying, he's enjoying this dating stuff. He's getting a lot of attention. I feel he feels good about himself. After a very, very long time, he feels confident. He feels good about how he looks. Maybe he's way too, I don't know, but I feel that he's feeling himself and he's enjoying the attention that he's getting. So he doesn't want to end this anytime soon. So he's not going to end this attention by committing to someone. But by March, I see there are going to be 3 suitors. Just to use it a little bit more. Look, Aries. So he comes up. This is Jeff, King of Swords. So swords normally represents air in tarot, but a lot of times with the King of Swords, that to me is an Aries. So this is Jeff's card, all right? So Jeff, so we have someone he's completely sort of he really has a hot for. Okay, there's one guy that he really has a hot for, and it's someone. I feel some kind of executive in the media world, maybe not in radio, but in TV, media, etc. Some kind of producer, someone who works behind the scenes. All right, but who is sort of higher up. And then I see someone younger. I know Jeff doesn't go normally for younger, but this one is younger. Okay.
He loves them young. He loves to train them.
Oh yeah, but not that young. I mean, I think he's got some kind of you never know. But this one looks young to me.
He's okay with 25 years younger, 23-ish years younger. So
okay, well, whatever he fancies. Now, I'll tell you what, Jeff's love life this year especially is changing drastically. He's going through a major transition and metamorphosis when it comes to his love life. And also, I feel that it's a good thing that he won't be committed in a relationship by the time that his birthday arrives, because he needs this time to kind of figure things out, right? He needs this time, and he kind of needs to sort of be more introspective and think about maybe past mistakes, because definitely with Stu, there were mistakes both ways. Both of them made mistakes in this relationship, but I know, and he was deeply hurt when they broke up eventually for the final time. Although, is it the final time? I mean, is there going to be, I don't know. I'm going to ask the card, Sarah. I'm going to ask
wow.
The card. I'm gonna ask the card.
Nothing would surprise me with this couple.
Nope. With Jeff, you mean? Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, Stu too. I mean, it takes 2 people to decide to break up and go back together, right?
True. I think I feel Stu would, with a snap of a finger, that he would go back to Jeff if Jeff apologized or if Jeff approached him. But we'll get to that in a minute. I'll tell you why, though. Why he's not committing in a relationship. Besides the fact that he has to work on himself, etc. He's going to be busy. This is the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is about carrying a lot of burdens, having a lot of responsibility, being busy. The next 3 months are going to be extremely busy. but in a positive way, because the 9 of Cups, this one, is the wish card. Your wishes are
Oh,
coming true. You're
oh, I
manifesting.
love that for him.
Yes, and a couple of predictions regarding his career that I got, and I got this one day while I was watching Hollywood House Lift. I think it was last week, and then I wrote it down. Sometimes I get these visions, and then I forget if I don't write them down. So I see 2 things about Jeff. The one is it's not going to happen this year, but in a couple of years, I see him having and producing his own show. It's almost like
Love
he's
that.
taking that self-producing, so he's going to have complete creative control and control of everything. This is going to be more of a reality show slash a little bit like Flipping Out, because Flipping Out was more about following Jeff and his team, right? But at the same time, we could see all the renovations and the flips and all that. Whereas Hollywood House Lift is more about the design. And so it's going to be something in between, let's just say. So I see that in 2 years. This is what we've all been waiting for, us Jeff
Yes.
fans. The other thing is, I see him starting a new collab, a design collab, where it's almost like let me describe what I saw. Like I saw a big warehouse where he has all these furniture and objects and stuff that he stages homes or he decorates homes. And I see him becoming like it, how it feels. I don't know how I'm going to say this, but it feels like he's going to open like something like a stage company,
Yeah,
staging.
that totally makes sense with flipping houses, real estate. That totally makes sense to me, for sure.
Absolutely. And he's got Tracy and Josh Flagg, and he's got all these realtors that can hire
MJ.
him for that. Exactly. But I see that, and I see that if he does that, because I don't see that this year again, I see that in the next 3 or 4 years happening for him, but it's going to be a booming business. So
I
it's
love
gonna
that.
it's gonna really sort of like it's gonna be a business that works all on its own by itself. He won't need to be there every day. He'll have a good team, and they'll be sort of
Yeah.
at
What I
it.
love about that, Natalie, is because you and I know Jeff loves combining his friends with
True.
business. And so Carrie Lewis, his sister-in-law, is a realtor. MJ, he's very close to MJ. Tracy Tudor, Josh Flagg. I can see how this would obviously benefit them, but also personally and professionally. And Jeff loves that. So I could totally see that coming true for him. I love that.
That's so good. And I pulled one more card regarding his love life. So he feels so betrayed. So another reason why he's not in a hurry to jump into a relationship, even though he's seeing all these guys right now, because he's been betrayed and he's not ready. This is the 4 of Swords. This is betrayal. You can see the swords, right? Like just like
Yeah.
this is betrayal. So he feels so betrayed and so exhausted. He's taking a break. He's like, I don't want to give my heart. I don't want to let anyone in right now. He's going to be busy anyways. But let's look at you had a couple of questions regarding his next steps in his career, right, Sarah? Ask away.
Well, personal or professionally?
Whatever you want.
Well, I want to know if he's going to have another child or not, because he's got one embryo left, but we know March of 2022 he tried one embryo for the boy and it was unsuccessful. So now he's been toying with the idea, and he said on air, and he also told us at the dinner in New York City, that he feels like he's going to try this one, and if it works, great, he'll be so happy. Monroe is she's 7, she's starting to ask for a sibling. But then I think he feels like he'd be done. If it's unsuccessful, he's not going to go through the process of getting an egg donor and embryos again.
I'll be honest, I pulled the cards anyway. I remember he was talking about it. It was like months ago, at the beginning of last year, if I'm not mistaken. And as soon as he was talking about it, I could feel that he's not having another baby. And I pulled the cards and he's not. Okay. He will try for this last embryo, but I feel something's going to go wrong there. So with that one too, it could also, I also feel that he is having, or he will have a hard time finding a surrogate that he feels comfortable with.
That tracks
as well. Yeah. So yeah, I don't see it. And to be honest, if I was his psychic or his friend or whatever, and I had him here, I would say, Jeff, you don't need another, focus on Monroe 100%. she's been through so much. Bringing a new baby in when she's already kind of been in between what's happening between the two daddies.
Yeah.
We don't want her to get Cinderella syndrome. She's not, but I think that Monroe, like, the best thing for Monroe is if she's an only child, that's the best thing for Jeff too. I don't see another baby anyway, so
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, she's such a sweet little girl.
Yeah. She's definitely a mini Jeff, physically and her personality
I was
being,
gonna
I love
ask
it. I love the
I was
stories he shares with us.
I was gonna ask you, do you think she looks a little bit like Kate? But I think they did this roulette thing where they don't know who's
Oh no,
sperm,
she is
right?
absolutely Jeff's biological child.
Oh, she is. Okay.
She is.
She's
Yeah.
beautiful though.
And the rumor going around, I don't have anything to do with these rumors, is that somebody supposedly close to Gage, which is a failure because that means they spilled the beans. Somebody claims that Gage is in the process of having his embryos, or that he had made with that same egg donor, but his sperm. So it would be a half brother or sister to Monroe, and that makes sense
Oh,
because I think they all wanted more kids. I mean, Scott has one baby now,
yeah.
baby Stone. I used to have a friendly, before they both blocked me, I had a friendly relationship with him on DM, and I know he wants more kids, so it wouldn't surprise me if either of them are having more kids.
And let me just say, I do feel like Gage really wants to get married to Scott. Like, don't be
Oh,
surprised if they get engaged or we hear that. I feel it's more Gage pressuring or wanting that rather than Scott. Just saying.
why do you feel that way, Natalie?
Because I'm
Any
psycho.
financial implications to that?
Maybe.
I don't think Gage is poor. I don't understand
No, no.
his business, but I don't think he's poor. I don't like the narrative personally
Yeah.
that he gets so much hate, because I do respect him as a dad. I know the tide has turned lately, and Jeff has recently said a few times on the show that he doesn't actually think Gage is a good father because of the decisions and the parental alienation. So that to me is a change. Jeff has always said he respected Gage as a father. That opinion has now changed, Jeff has said on the radio.
Well, of course it's changed because Gage is being so petty. Like Zoella used to call him what was it? Something big, Barbie
Barbie
bitch. Barbie
bitch.
bitch. No, but
Yeah.
I mean he's so petty, and like, honestly, just because he hates Jeff, don't do that to your child. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing that to your child. Kids pick up everything. They're so intuitive. They're so
Yeah.
pure. Their energies are so pure. People don't realize just because she's 4, 3, 2 doesn't mean she doesn't pick up
Yeah.
the energies and what's happening around. So that's a great shame. Um, I'm enjoying this new season of Renovation Show, and surprised he brought Stu on it. Well, I think he had warned us that there was going to be an episode, right?
Yeah.
But his dad made me laugh with this comment about the room being empty because Stu will mess up. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was funny.
He
He said something about moving Stu in, and he said, "Oh, well, that room will be empty because he'll move out again," or something like that.
Oop.
Basically,
What?
all the pause and unpause of it all, right?
I mean, he said it. Jeff said it in his confessional, or not confessional, his interview on House.
Yeah. So
So
I
what?
like how you think, you get a feeling that Stu would go back to Jeff right now. I don't get that feeling at all. So I
Let's
see yeah, see what the cards say, because I see Stu moving in a different direction. Now, if Jeff works on himself and they work on their issues, I always felt they had a very loving relationship. I always felt like there must have been some chemistry to keep them going back to each
Oh
other.
yeah.
I didn't like all the pauses, but the fact is they always came back to each other.
Well, you'll be surprised with what jumped out the card, but I want to pull a couple of more before I tell you
Okay.
guys. You'll be surprised.
I'm
Hold
curious
on.
what the viewers think. Do you think Stu and Jeff will ever get back together? Or do you think Jeff could be trying to get back with Stu and Stu is saying no, or vice versa? Stu is trying to get back with Jeff and Jeff is saying no.
Let
Kind of
us
curious what people
know.
think.
Sarah,
What? What?
Listen to your psychic. I don't think it's gonna happen now, right? But look what I pulled. You don't need to know tarot. Just look at the card. 2 of Cups, man and woman. 2 of Cups is coupling.
Okay.
It's a couple. It's coming together. Not just that. Lovers.
Oh.
And then Strength.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Strength is like he's still attracted to him. They're both still attracted to each other.
They're both so hot. I mean, straight women are attracted to them.
That's true. But there is attraction. It's not done and buried, you guys. It's not done yet.
Wow.
You know how he used to sleep with Gage like a couple of years ago, 3 years ago? They were separated, and he was like on the down low sleeping with Gage, and we found out months later from Jeff. Don't be surprised if something similar happens with Stu.
Wow.
Wow. I'm going to pull one more card just for validation.
Okay.
7 of Cups. Oh, okay. 7 of Cups it's an illusion. So it's going to start off good. They're going to be like, oh, I miss you. And then here we go again. Here we go again. Yeah, it's going to be an illusion. It's going to come crashing down. But at least there's going to be that last hurrah. Last. Yeah. So it's not done yet.
Maybe they need that. What do you think, Natalie? Maybe they need that to kind of like we put in the last ditch effort, and now maybe they would become friends after that, and maybe even like business partners somehow. Like maybe they both live in West Hollywood. They're gonna run into each other. They've got the same friends. Stu really became really good friends with a lot of Jeff's friends. Jeff didn't become friends with his friends necessarily, but Stu was really meshed into Jeff's life.
I think Stu was a little bit misunderstood in what I mean by the fans, by the audience, because of course, obviously, we could only hear Jeff's perspective. I really think that one of their the main issue with those two was communication. It was the way they communicated to each other. Jeff is very specific as to how he wants others to be around him and how to communicate. He's got OCD, he's got ADHD, all that. So you kind of have to follow Jeff's rules because that keeps him calm, that keeps him balanced, right? Because he doesn't feel like he's off. Stu is more chaotic. I don't know his sign, but he's
September 15th. He's
Virgo.
September 15th birthday. Virgo.
Another earth sign, Sarah. Didn't I say that Jeff needs earth signs to ground him? The grounding. Virgos are very earthy as well. They're earth signs as well. But here's the thing. I feel that there was also the culture thing is an issue because in Ireland, okay, I'm half British. Yeah. So in Ireland, the way you interact with people or the things that you say or the way that you joke, and it could be slightly different to how they do it in LA or in the rest of the world. I'm just saying, I'm not I'm not trying to excuse anyone here. I'm just saying that I feel that especially in the beginning, there were issues around that, in Ireland, for instance, they do drink a lot. They do go out like it's almost every day. You leave work and then you go to the pub, you have a couple of pints of beer, and then you're back home by 10, in bed by 11. It's sort of like it's a cultural thing. The drinking, I know drinking was a huge issue in that relationship because Jeff drinks, Stu really drinks, but that's part of his culture. That's, who he is. And I feel also, again, the Irish, the British, they're more reserved. We're more reserved people. You've heard how people say the English have the upper stiff lip. They're very stiff in general. Yeah, that can be true. That is true. Every culture, every country has different, what do you call them? Like different behavioral mannerisms. Yeah.
Like she's got a very different personality, even though she's lived in the US for so long now. She's got a very different sense of humor and aura to herself.
Who's that? Sorry, I missed
Lisa
that.
Vanderpump.
Lisa
from Beverly Hills and Vanderpump Rules.
a great example. She's adjusted after all these years with the Californian, the American lifestyle and the way that you do things, right? So I think that there was that, because Jeff is also not that willing to, I guess, adjust, not adjust,
Yeah.
if you will. So I don't know. I don't know. I know people, there are people that don't like Stu because they call him like a grifter or whatnot. I think that's a bit harsh. We don't know the
Yeah.
guy. We can't jump into conclusions about him just because Jeff says things. Jeff has the right to talk about Stu because it's his boyfriend or was his boyfriend. I don't think we have the right to kind of like jump into conclusions. That's my thing, right? But
Well, like we know, Jeff always had this platform 5 days a week, and
yeah.
Jeff Stu never really did. So he wasn't on the radio as much.
Exactly. So it's a little bit unfair for us to kind of like judge what happened. At the end of the day, we don't know every single detail. We don't know everything. We just know what was told to us. So we weren't there. But it's interesting that there is going to be another, I don't know, they're gonna
a go round
each other. Yeah, go around again. So that's gonna be that. I wonder if we're gonna find out in real time. Well, let's see.
Wow. Yeah. Because we now know Jeff kept some things to us from us. He now says, "Oh, I effed up a lot. I did this. I did this. I did some things that made him not trust me in my relationship." We never heard about any of that in real time.
No.
And Chef Stu doesn't have a platform, so he wasn't saying all these things that happened. Jeff is now admitting to these things. And I'm like, wait, what exactly did you do? Tell us all the nitty-gritty details. Because I think that would affect how people think about Chef Stu. I personally got to know Chef Stu really well. I absolutely never thought he was dating Jeff for any reason, like to gain in his career, any of those. I really feel like they both had a sincere love for each other and had fun together. And if Jeff wants anything of people around him, he wants them to be loyal. He wants them to be fun. And he wants them to let him kind of lead the way, whether that's a dinner, a vacation. He wants to be the leader of it all. He wants to be booking the trip. He wants to be making the plans.
And that's fine, and that's totally fine. If you know how he is an alpha male. If you know how he is, you have to, and you want to be part of his circle, his inner circle, you have to go with it. Otherwise, Jeff is not for you. So
I think so too.
I agree. A couple of things. Storm says the mom death situation was a deal breaker. After he said how much he was disappointed in Stu for going to BravoCon overseeing his dying mother. That was a lot. But hurt people, right? So when you're hurt, you come out and say things again that wasn't right. I just want to address this one. Val says that, oh no, wrong comment. Val, where is it? Sorry, someone asked in the chat. Oh, Val, there it is. Are they addicted to each other? I'll tell you what. No, I don't think it's Stu and Jeff are addicted to each other, but I can tell you what I think. I feel Gage and Jeff have a karmic relationship. They have karmic past lessons, which is why this is not going to end anytime soon. This whole litigation situation that's going on between them. These are karmic ties that they have to work through, unfortunately. So Gage is the one that's karmic, not Stu.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is somebody saying? Ruby Goldie says that I side with all of his exes because I'm so innocent with Hollywood people.
There it is.
I don't know what that means.
Love Sarah.
I side with Jeff Lewis's exes
because she's so innocent with Hollywood people. Ruby, I don't know what you're talking about, but here she's our guest, okay? And we don't like shading. No,
Sarah, I didn't feel she was shading. I was genuinely asking, does she feel like I always that I always side with his exes? I don't feel I do. I do give a healthy respect. Like Scott and Gage, they don't bother me that they're dating. You know why? I feel like if you were dating Jeff, you probably Jeff's exes have a lot in common. So it actually makes sense to me, the trauma bonding of it all. But also, I really do feel that it may have come across at that Scott ran into Gage and was asking genuinely, hey, give me some advice on being a single father. And then the trauma bonding about Jeff
Yeah.
got them together. But I feel like Jeff probably dated people that were similar. So Gage and Scott dating, it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't bother me because I want to think the best of people, and I do want to think that they both truly, genuinely love Monroe. And this may not be the best thing for her, but if you have two people that genuinely love each other and love your child, I don't feel that's a bad thing.
Agree.
Hot
Yeah.
take. If
But at the end of
if that's going with his exes, then I guess I am. But I'm just saying I'm not against two people being in love in a healthy relationship, which is all I can assume of Gage and Scott. And I can only assume they both love Monroe. I'm never going to be anti that.
And at the end of the day, even if you side with his exes or one of his exes or some of his exes, that's because obviously, you're not Jeff. You're not affected
Right,
personally by what is happening in their relationship. You can still like someone or, like their energy or the way they are,
right,
regardless how they treated Jeff or what the relationship is with Jeff. Just because you have a fan account doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that Jeff does or says, right?
right.
You have your own opinion.
I think that's what most of my fans like about me is that I am very
Okay.
honest. I do give my opinion. I have met Jeff multiple times. I listen to the show, but I also say that everyone hears things very differently based on their own life experiences. So when I listen to Jeff Lewis say something about Stu, if I've been cheated on in my life, if I've had a recent breakup, if somebody has recently given me an STI, I'm going to hear that situation very differently than how I do because I've been married to a man for 23 years and I'm not cheated on and I don't have an STI. So I always say everyone hears the same content very differently. I give you what I think about it and I don't always love what Jeff says or does. Like you stated earlier, Natalie, I think a lot of the details of Chef Stew should have been kept privately between them. As much as I want to know everything about Jeff, there were some things I could have not heard for the sake of being respectful to Chef Stew.
I agree. But you know what? He learns. The good thing about Jeff, and this is the other thing that I've been seeing the big difference or the evolution of Jeff from 15 years ago, flipping out
Yeah,
years to now, is that he is willing. I mean, he does go to therapy. He is willing to work on himself. He is a little bit more self-aware regarding what he says and how he acts. So at the end of the day, I think that Jeff is maturing, he's growing, is evolving, and that's a good thing. And I don't think he's going to do the same in his next relationship. I don't. I'm not saying he's going to hide things. He's not going to be open or transparent, but certain details, I feel or I hope that with the next relationship, he's going to keep that private or at least keep it among the chumps. We don't all need to be in on it or hear it. You know what I mean? Or you can start a Patreon just like Heather McDonald did. No, okay.
oh wow.
Oh, okay. Just had to throw it out there.
Well, since you
Yeah,
kind of touched on his professional stuff, what do you think might happen with Channel 789?
that was
What's the
exactly that
future
was
of
the next.
that?
All right. I mean, he stopped complaining about it now, or has he? I mean, I haven't listened.
Yeah, I think he pretty much has. They're not really playing that promo that I really loved, like 789 was for sale, the fire sale. I love that promo so much. I love that his promos, first of all, I love Jameson. I love Alyssa. I've met them both multiple times. I think they're so talented. I love Oscar. I've met him also. He's amazing. But I love that they put a little bit of what do you call shade on Jeff? Like when they do these promos, especially the watcher letters, those have a lot of shade against Jeff that I would almost personally be embarrassed if they said, but they totally take these digs and Jeff approves them to be aired online. And I love that about Jeff. He doesn't take himself too seriously and he accepts the digs.
I agree. That's what I like about Jeff, that he takes it, he dishes it, but he takes it. And
Yeah.
I just love that. So 789. All right. So
I'm almost nervous.
Okay, so I feel that things are already, it feels to me that things are slightly better financially regarding the channel, and they will
Okay.
continue to be a little bit better. Okay, so it's it's not out of the woods yet though. Six of Cups here, I feel that I don't feel Jeff is that into it anymore. I think he's kind of lost
Oh,
interest, or he doesn't see the potential in this channel. It's not of having his own channel, but his own channel in Sirius. That's what I'm saying.
okay.
I wonder when his contract is up, because I'm not sure if he'll be when he's renegotiating his contract. I really don't think he's going to go back to 5 days a week show, and I feel like he's going to produce his own, create his own, like his own, I don't know, YouTube channel,
Wow.
platform, something where all the chumps, they're all going to have their own little channels, their own little shows, et cetera, et
Love that.
cetera. I see that. All right, because I see the death of 789. This is the death card
Also,
eventually.
Natalie, is that an Aries thing? Because I have that trait very much. Like I'm really into something and then I kind of lose interest really quickly. Is that something that Jeff and Aries have in common?
Yes. So the Aries, because you're so impulsive and so fiery, and you're the first sign of the zodiac, you're the ones who like, you have the ideas, right? You're the ones who come with a light bulb moment and have this, you're very good at coming, very creative and coming up with great ideas or starting new projects, but you have a hard time finishing those projects.
That's so good to hear because I've never really
Yeah.
thought of it. When you said that Jeff is kind of losing interest in 789, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I do. I have these grand ideas and I'm like, I've moved on. I'm doing something different now. Very Aries of us, I guess.
It is very Aries. And Jeff, cares about the money. And if
Yeah.
Channel 789 made a lot of money, he wouldn't have lost interest. But I don't think it's making enough for him to keep that going, or for him to be
Yeah.
interested enough to put energy and time and money into it. So I don't see that. I see the death. I at 789, it's just, yeah, it's going to have a little bit of a slow death,
Well,
unfortunately.
you win some, you lose some, I guess, right? But I do
Oh,
think that he has admitted that, or he's announced that the 789 Jeff Lewis after show will be moving to channel 102 on Radio Andy, and I think that will be huge. I think that will be great. And then I think 789 might continue to be archive shows,
yeah.
but it's not going to be enough to financially make sense, and I think it might die out eventually. Maybe it could become a YouTube channel, or he like a Patreon, and put those things. I'm assuming he did a deal where he kind of owns or is in more control of his content. He's such a good business brain.
Yeah, he is.
He's always
Definitely.
making sure his contracts are good, except for 789, where he said he got a bad deal.
Yeah, well, he did. He probably did. Who knows? I mean, he probably did get a bad deal, or maybe he made bad decisions regarding that. And I don't agree when people blame Julie and Brandy about this, all that. No, let's not blame people. I really feel it has to do with the execs and the management, and there are other things in the background
Yeah.
that have created that. But I definitely see Jeff. Yeah, it will be interesting, because I do see him, and that would be a wise also business move for him to take control of production, take control of everything. Because he's have you noticed? I mean, you've noticed it through your channel and through what you're doing, how much more popular Jeff has become. Like
Oh yeah.
he's booming right now. Everyone's talking about him. They're inviting him over. He's going to Watch What Happens Live again.
Yeah.
He's been doing interviews. He's been going here and there. So Jeff is hot right now,
Yeah.
right? So he's got the power. So why give away money to Sirius? And by the way, Sarah, I did a reading on Sirius like a few months ago.
Uh-huh.
I think it was connected to Andy and Jeff back then when I did I think it was the whole Heather McDonald, Jeff, Megan thing
Oh wow.
around that time. And I did a reading, and I did see that Sirius is in big financial trouble. Big
Oh
financial trouble. Okay.
wow.
And they will try. I know they had a new they've come up with a new app now, which is a disaster, from what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
And the
But here's
logo where they added the star to the S. Wow. Impressive.
let me tell you something. I've been in marketing for 20 years. When you see a company, okay, or yeah, if you see a company rebranding for no apparent reason, meaning they didn't merge, there wasn't an acquisition, there was some kind of
Yeah.
change. It means they're in hot water and they
Oh
feel
my
like
God,
they're
Natalie, that
losing.
makes so much sense. Because what
So
was the reason to add a star to all the logos and change out everything and spend money on it? It didn't affect anything.
well, they're
And Jeff
trying to
even said,
yeah, it's the rebrand, it's remarketing, rebrand, because you're hoping to attract new viewers in or to sustain the ones that you already have.
yeah,
I also saw that they're trying to make the app accessible internationally, which would be a blessing for us.
yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't even work locally. I mean, in America. So yeah, series as well. So Jeff, in my opinion, if he watches this or if you ever speak to him, I would jump ship. Like I wouldn't renegotiate my contract. I would basically just say, okay, I'm just going to move my content, my show, everything to a platform that I manage, that I have control and the rights of. That
I can
is
totally see that happening. I think he is renegotiating it in October. I think he signed a 2-year contract, but I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 years. I might be getting that mixed up if someone in comments
okay.
can finalize that. A lot of my fans know more of the details than I do. I'm like, they will know things about, what he said, they'll know things more than I do. It's funny.
Look, Danielle even says there's so many people are making their own podcast networks. It's the future. It is the future. It is absolutely the future. People want to have complete control of their own content and their
Will someone call me? I'm available.
Jeff should call you when he's
Jeff
ready,
should
when
call me.
everything's set up, right? Yeah, that's the future forward. That's why so many creators now have Patreons and
Yeah.
they have paywalls and etc. It's a way to contain and to have control of their content. And it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. And that's what Jeff should be doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. I don't know. Do you have any other questions before we move on to you?
Not about him, but you said you're going to do a mini reading of me. So I'm very excited. I've never had a tarot card reading. And Jeff actually had, I don't think he had anything to do with this, but at the season 2 Hollywood House Live premiere party at Sunset Tower, I was talking with Kristen Tateman from Ultimate Girls Trip. I adore her. And she goes, oh my gosh, I just had my tarot cards read and it's crazy. It was so accurate. And so I didn't ask for any details because obviously that was personal information. I didn't even realize Amazon had a tarot card reader there, and I never made time to go over there. I never even went. There were so many things to do and so many people to chat with, but they had a tarot card reading at the party. I thought that was awesome.
I like that. That's a great idea. But now, look, you have your own private reading here.
Absolutely. Do you do private readings or for parties?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Parties?
Yeah, I do private readings. I have a lot of clients from all over the world. I do them via Zoom. So private readings. I do private events, but they have to be very special. I'm very selective as to private events because those can be really overwhelming because you are just picking up, because I pick up energies and I read energies. I just pick up so many energies. I need to have my own space, a quiet room to do it. There's some sort of like prerequisites before I do sort of like a party or an event as well. They're
Now
not my favorite.
I know you live in Greece. How do people reach you to make an appointment with you, especially if they can do it virtually?
Well, via my website, which is down here. Thank you for reminding me. So I have a website,
Yes.
I have a booking form. Everyone can see my fees, the services. I offer 30-minute reading, mediumship. I'm also medium, so I can connect you with loved ones, deceased loved ones. I do coaching. I help people overcome blockages in their life. There are lots of things that I do, and I love every single one of my clients. We've
I love
become
that.
friends. Yeah. I love doing what I'm doing. Like I literally left my career 20 plus years in marketing, executive in the tech industry in marketing. And I just said,
Wow.
I want to help people. This is my calling. This is
Yeah.
what I should be doing. And no regrets, never looked back. And I meet people like you. I meet so many interesting people
Yeah.
doing this.
I
So
love that. Well, I'm so excited. But I
thank
personally know Jeff Lewis fans and my chumpettes, they love psychic readings. They love all of that. So I'm sure they'll be contacting you very soon.
Oh, you know what we could do? I could also jump onto your channel one time and your channel, you can give what I do, like once or twice a month, what I do on my channels, I offer these lightning readings, which is one question readings for the chat. So they just ask me a question and then I give them their answer.
Oh
So
my God, I love that. Let's talk about that for sure.
we'll talk about that. But I know
Yeah.
people love that because some people might be going through something right now and it's so
Yeah.
easy. Oh, look, Natalie is online. Let's ask her that and then I'll help
Right.
you with that. Oh, Val, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that. A financial forecast. Who doesn't want that to know?
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, Sarah,
Oh,
look,
thank you,
Michelle.
Michelle. I do have a live event. I would love for you to be there, but I know you're happy in Greece. But I do have my very first live show in Hollywood, January 20th. Tickets are almost sold out. It is going to be so much fun. But more than just the 2-hour show on Saturday, January 20th in Hollywood, is just all of the chumpettes flying in, driving in, staying in the same hotel. We are going to go to Pola 2 Boutique. We're going to Chaz Dean Salon. We're going to have lunch together. We're going to have dinner together. We're going to hang out at the speakeasy afterwards. It's going to be so much fun. Just a whole chumpette con, if you will, like a BravoCon.
Well, let me tell you, I'm planning to come to the US before summer, so late spring.
Love it.
And I will obviously let you know. I've been to Houston before. My best friend used to live in Houston. Love Houston,
Okay.
by the way. Loved it. I had such a great time in Houston. I love the people and everything, but maybe we can meet up. Maybe we can meet
Well,
up or
Natalie,
find something.
if you're in Houston March 13th and you want to see Doug Buden and Vicky Gunvalson and Shannon Bador, I've got tickets to the live show. They just announced yesterday at Houston Improv. So a bunch of chumpettes and I are going together.
I will let you know. I have to check with my schedule, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll try to make let me know what your next events are for the next few months. And I'll
Yeah.
let you know. I'll try. I don't know yet when because I'm traveling a lot the next 6 months. But yeah, I'll try to make it happen. We'll make it
Well,
happen.
you read my cards and tell me where I'm traveling.
Good point. Yeah, good point. So before I read your cards, I want to tell you a little because we looked at your natal chart.
Okay.
Okay, so you share your birthday with Jeff. Where is it? Hold on. So, but you have 3-year difference, age difference. He's 3 years older, right?
I'm younger.
Oh, you're young. Yeah, you're younger. He's older. So here's what's interesting. That's why it makes total sense why when you have an opportunity to travel, to go somewhere, you'll do it without any complications. You'll just be on your phone, you'll book the tickets, you don't overthinking, you do it. Why? Your moon is a Sagittarius.
Okay.
Sagittarius is a fire sign. Moon is your emotions, just so you understand. Okay, let me explain to you that there are the big three in astrology that you should know, everyone should know. It's your sun, which is your star sign, which represents your soul. Okay, this is your blueprint. Then you've got your rising sign, which is basically how you appear to others or how other people see you. In your case, you have a Cancer ascendant or rising sign. So people see you as someone who's you attract immediately people to you because people feel that you're open. You're open to listen, you're open to help, you're open to you're willing to give advice. You're someone and you're very nurturing. So with that ascendant Cancer, no wonder you have 5 kids. It's because, yeah, well, not everyone can pull it off. I could definitely not pull it. I mean, I have a hard time with my 2, right? So 2 is
Right.
a lot. But you with that Cancer is you love a big family. This,
Yeah.
you find balance through that. You love raising kids and being around the kids and being involved in their lives. Cancer women are very, very nurturing. They're
Oh,
very
I
much
love that.
about family. You were also very connected to your mom. All
Yes.
right, very, very connected to your mom. I see that there's so many similarities to your mom regarding personality wise. I mean, obviously, I feel that sometimes you were butt heads, but generally your mom was your person and you were
Yeah.
hers. All right. And then so Moon and Sagittarius, generally you like adventures, you like to try new foods, you like to go to to new countries and experience new things, you're totally open to it. And you're
Yes.
very like, out there.
Yeah.
Fun to be around, always friggin' fucking positive, fun because of the moon in Sag and sun in Aries. Yeah, you love a party, you love,
Yeah.
you're an extrovert. You're an extrovert.
Yes.
You like being around people.
Yes.
Venus in Pisces, then you have Venus. Venus is it's the planet of love, basically. Okay.
Okay.
And it's in Pisces. You're romantic when it comes to love. Like even before you met your husband, when you were younger, let's just because you've been married for a long time, but even before you were like, I feel you had this like, I don't know, you would fantasize about what your husband or your man would look like and what your family, you pretty much manifested what you wanted as a child. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
it's like when it comes to love and romance, you love to live in this like nice little bubble, not fantasy, but like, daydreaming and stuff like that. And it's also about, hold on, one last thing, and then we'll pull the cards. What was the other
y'all don't
one?
hear my stomach growling. I must be hungry.
My
stomach was just growling so loud. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
I love food. Is that in the cards too? I very much love food.
Don't we all? So do I. I've gained weight and I'm trying to shed it, and it's not easy. But
Same.
yeah, let's ask the cards. But in general, this is that's it in a nutshell for your natal chart. I don't want to spend too much time. I will screenshot it and I'll send it to you just so you have like a reference of where your planets are and everything.
That's so fun and so accurate. I love that.
So let's pull the cards for you, dear Sarah. Let's see what's in store. Let's see what's in store for you for the next 6 months, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so try not to think of anything. Don't focus on the chat while I'm shuffling. Just quiet your mind.
I'm not looking at the chat.
Perfect, just for 2 minutes, a minute or two. Okay. Hold on. All right. I can tell that you're excited. You're containing it.
I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing?
Girl, I got goosebumps for you. I got goosebumps. Hold your horses. One, Sarah, I hope you're ready for what's coming. Just saying.
All right,
the Emperor. So to me, you have a support system. So you have people in the right places, one of them being Jeff, probably, all right, who are really rooting for you and are going to support your next steps in general. Okay. We're talking about the next 6 months.
What's that card called, Natalie?
The Emperor. The Emperor.
Okay.
Strategy is it represents strategy. It represents the dad, not in your case, but it represents someone in power. Someone who's strategic, someone who's powerful, and he has the connections, etc. So next to it, Ace of Swords, new opportunity, something new, some kind of new collaboration, new show maybe, or something different related to Jeff Lewis obsessed, but separate at the same time. So I can't give you details, but this is what's coming through. But whatever it is, it's going to be huge, and you're going to be supported by the Emperor or someone in power, someone who can help you make this happen.
Wow.
Sarah. Wow. All right. 5 of Pentacles. Figuring out. So here's the thing, and we'll talk offline as well, because obviously when I started on YouTube 4 years ago, I needed help. I needed a little bit of direction. I got it from some content creators, but I always feel like I need to pay forward and I need to help people who start off. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of your issues for the next 6 months is the financial aspect. How can you monetize from what you're doing? Because obviously I feel that you might be paying out of pocket for maybe some of your trips, some of the stuff that you do. Okay. It's about figuring out the money, how to monetize from it. And And yeah, take more. Let me see what else they tell me about. But
Who
you
doesn't
will
want more
figure it.
money?
Who wants more money?
Who doesn't want more money to travel and
Oh,
do fun things?
exactly. But I mean, making it more of a business, making
Yeah.
what you're doing more of a business, not just like to pay off your tickets or whatever. It's more of a business. Like
Okay.
all of us who do this,
Yeah.
somehow you have to keep paying, you need to get some kind of income to pay off your equipment, your apps, this
Right.
and that.
Yeah.
Live off of it or whatever it is. Everyone's different. So
Yeah.
I see that next 6 months is all about trying to figure out how to monetize or make it more of a business.
Okay.
Chariot, I want you to be a little bit careful, Sarah. In what way? So take more control. So I know sometimes you feel you have a lack of confidence when it comes a little bit to the tech stuff, to the YouTube stuff, to this stuff. You're still trying to figure it out. We
For
all
sure.
we all are. I feel that you have people around you advising you or helping you or trying to, to help you out, but there's a couple that I don't trust. So don't
Okay.
trust everyone. Learn some things to do yourself and take control. Don't rely, this is what I'm trying to say. Don't rely on other people. You
Okay.
are an island. You're on your own, regardless what everyone tells you. They're your friend today and they're not your friend tomorrow. Trust me.
Okay.
This is the world we live in. So I want you to take more control, learn what you have to learn so you can figure things out and follow your intuition with every step that you make from now on regarding what you're doing. All right.
Yeah.
And look at the Nine of Cups. Remember, I pulled it for Jeff too.
Yeah.
Nine of Cups is the wish card. So next 6 months seem to me extremely great for you. Okay. Ace of Wands.
Oh,
Girl, I mean, I've got goosebumps. I keep pulling cards. Ace of Wands is new beginnings, a new creative project, a new creative endeavor for you. Like, you're gonna be busy. You better
wow.
you better tell your family you're not gonna have time for anyone because you're gonna be busy, girl. Ooh,
I'm
upside down.
so ready for it all. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I pulled last but not least, I pulled the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, remember we pulled it for Jeff and his relationship, etc. So
Yeah.
Seven of Cups is, again, I want you to be more alert, use intuition, use discernment, and don't trust everything that everyone tells you. Sometimes
Okay.
people can manipulate you. You're not easy to manipulate, but they can manipulate you by saying things and creating some kind of stuff. You're on your own. This is what I'm trying to say here. You're on
Okay.
your own on this journey. You got this. You 100% got this. I don't want you to go off track. Stay
Yeah.
focused. Stay at what you're doing. Learn more about the tech stuff, the stuff that makes you
Yeah.
feel not confident.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. When you sort that out, that's it. You're flying from there on. All right.
Wow. Thank you, Natalie. That's amazing. That's exactly the one thing that I lack confidence in and that holds me back a little bit. Oh, thank you, Mary. And I
Yeah.
have the most amazing fans, my Chumpettes. So they lift me up, they give me information. But when I meet other friends like you, Natalie, you just from chatting with you before we went live, I can tell you and I are the same person, even though that we're in a black shirt, blonde, short hair. We didn't even plan this, but you and I are just both genuine people that like to help other people. And I can tell that we're going to be fast friends after this because I know that that's kind of hard to find in this crazy fan industry, right?
It is. It is. Trust me, it is. I mean, you think they might be, they might be, but everyone's there out there on their own.
Yeah.
They just care for themselves. That's fine, but that's not how we roll or how I roll. So I'll continue helping people. I'll continue being around to support and advise people, whether they disappoint me, hurt me, whatever. But I don't want to go against who I am. I'm not going to change. This is who I
Yeah.
am. This is who
Yeah.
you are. This is who. So that's really important. And yes, of course, I'm here. I love your content. I love you. I love Jeff Lewis and everything Jeff Lewis or the Jeff Lewis world, if you will.
Yes.
it's fascinating. And on behalf of the international viewership, we thank you for the recaps, because now that YouTube keeps flagging and pulling down all
Yeah.
these videos, we have no other way of listening to Jeff Lewis. So
Right.
we've got you
Right.
right now. You're the
Yep.
spokesperson or the ambassador of the chump.
I go live 5 days a week at 3 p.m. Eastern time on all 6 social media networks, and then it all goes up as a replay everywhere. So everything is under Jeff Lewis Obsessed: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook group, YouTube, and then it all goes up as a podcast, and that's also called Jeff Lewis Obsessed.
Everything is linked down below in the description box. You can find
Thank
Sarah,
you.
all of her channels, everything down below. So, after this video, head on over there and go follow her if you haven't already. And we'll definitely be seeing you back, I hope, on the channel. It'll be really interesting to see, the developments, generally your personal ones and Jeff's after this reading. So
Absolutely. I'm going to be listening just like you are to see what all you said come true with him. And me.
Absolutely. You most and foremost, because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is you. This is reality. So, work on all of the nice stuff that you're doing, and don't allow for any negativity that's around. I'm not saying anything. And I keep saying this on this channel all the time. You guys, what you put out there comes back tenfold. If you're mean, if you act in a certain way, trust me, karmically, you're going to get it back. So be mindful of what you're saying. If you disagree with someone, you're entitled to disagree. You're entitled to your opinion. It's how you freaking deliver your opinion. It's how you talk. Just, so let's all make this a better world, a better place, a better world for all of us. And just water off your back, Sarah. So is mine, so is mine.
Yep. I love that, Natalie. And I also think kind people find other kind people, and that encourages other people to be kind. So I do believe in that too.
100%. Well, Sarah, thank you for joining us today. This was so much fun, and this was so enlightening as well.
Thank you so much for having me, Natalie. I can't believe I just had my cards read for the first time. I can't wait to meet you in person, and hopefully you'll do it in person for me.
Me too. Oh, we will. We'll set something up. I'll let you know on my dates. I'll figure out when I'm coming over, and we'll sort it out somehow, and we'll definitely meet. But thank you so much, Sarah, for coming. For everyone else watching, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Head on over to Sarah's channel, to Sarah's Instagram, TikTok, everything linked down below, and follow her too if you are not already. Thank you all for joining us. Till next time. Bye.
Thank you, FemmeTarot.
Bye.